Hey guys, Dan from Elegant Woodcraft here. So today we're going to do a video on how to assemble one of these dust filter boxes. Okay, so we got a couple of filters, got some plywood pieces, got a couple of random 1.5 by 1.5 pieces, and an exhaust fan that we're going to use as our fan, obviously. Um,
So first of all, I'd like to really apologize for recording this entire video in vertical format. I don't know what I was thinking, and I didn't realize that it was in vertical until it was already done. And I really didn't want to make another one. So here we are. We're going to have to suffer with this one for now, but I promise you I will do better next time. So, with that out of the way, here we are, just speed through the putting the runners on the sides of my top and bottom boards. When you do this, you have to make sure that you leave enough room for your filters to get past the runners. In my layout here, I decided to put them in from the side opposite of the fan. So I take out the one that's opposite the fan, and then I can slide both the left and right side straight out through there. And that way, the one that goes across them kind of holds those two in, and we don't have to worry about them sliding around. Okay. So we're speeding through this because let's be honest, it's glue and a nail gun. It's not really rocket science. Besides, I don't know if I can talk for this long of the video. So here we are test fitting, making sure everything slides. These filters are an inch wide. So that's how wide I made my groove. You may or may not have to make it wider. Some people want to have a 4-inch thick filter. That's fine. More filter pleats equals more airflow, more catching of the dust, etc. Here I am putting up my spacer between the top and bottom, just getting them laid out on that piece so that I could make sure that everything was going to line up good. We're going to do the second set of runners, get that out of the way, make sure everything lines up and I'm not building them opposite of each other. There's a big old view of my back because, we all want to see that. Why not? All right, speed it up. Come on, hurry up. What's taking so long here? Some glue and a couple of brad nails. You just did this. All right. So, hey, look at that. I'm actually making progress, wiping off the glue. Now we got to put the runners on the inside. If you watch here in just a second, I put runners on the inside as well. So that way I didn't have the filter kind of tucking inside the box. It was easy. It figured it would be easier for me to slide the filters in. That's what I'm doing right here, putting the runners on the inside. It makes sense to me. I don't know if you really need to do that. Um, so I'm using a 1-inch spacer just to make sure that I have them at the 1-inch mark. I also, if you look real close, you can see that I have lines drawn on these boards. Um, Little secret, I built them on the wrong side. So my lines really didn't matter because I built them backwards. I don't know why. All right, here we go. Now we're going to assemble this top and bottom piece. We got to put on our 6 spacers. These are 14 inches tall because my filters are 14 inches by 20 inches. So the overall length is 21 inches to account for the filter on the end and then the cap where the fan will sit in. So here we are lining everything up. I'm going to take a really long time doing this because, it looks better on camera and then makes it look like I know what I'm doing, I guess. So, all right, here we go. We're going to put a brad nail in each one just to kind of tack it in place and hold it so I don't have to worry about them moving. I'm going to play around with this one, make it look like I really know what I'm doing for a minute. And now we got to play with this one. There we go. Now we can finish putting brad nails in. It's not rocket science, buddy. Come on now. Come on. So these filter boxes do wonders for collecting some of that finer dust that kind of floats in the air. Anybody who does sanding and things without it hooked up to like a shop vac or a dust extractor, you know that your shop will get a lot of dust in it, and it'll just kind of hang there and then settles over everything in the shop, and you got to clean everything. That's what this filter box is supposed to help with. And it does help. It really does. Here we're putting the end cap on where we will screw our fan to it. So that way we have a nice solid mounting surface for it. You can see I have a hole cut in the panel. You can't see it now, but there's a hole cut in the panel. Trust me. Throwing some more brad nails in so that it doesn't move around. Now, we did not glue any of this together except for the side runners and the little runners on the inside. Just because I didn't really feel it was necessary. Sunk a couple of screws in everywhere, put one down through the top into each of those spacers, and then ran a couple from the fan plate into the spacers behind it. And that should lock everything together fairly well. The only reason I put 6 spacers in here is because I'm going to be screwing this to the ceiling, and this is only 1/2-inch plywood. I don't want it to, over time maybe bow, kind of warp. So I figured, a couple extra 14-inch pieces can't hurt. So now we're gonna, where'd I go? Oh, I ran away. Oh, there I am. I had to go get more screws. I have the wrong screws, and I should have edited this part out, but I figured you guys wanted to really, really look at the craftsmanship and quality right there. Look at it. It looks phenomenal. And I'm running out of things to say to fill this dead space. So hurry up and come back with the proper bit. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to screw the front panel on where you put the fan on it. That should lock that on there pretty solid. We don't have to worry about it falling off and hitting me on the head. And then once I get done playing with that, why not take forever to put a couple of screws in? Man, this guy's slow. I don't know why anybody watches this guy. He's super slow. Pretty sure this is on 2x speed. Goodness. I should have upped it to 10x. Maybe we'd have it built by now. That's all right. That's all right. There we go. Now we're going to grab the whole thing, flip it over. There we go. And we're going to repeat the same process. We're going to punch some screws through the top, make sure everything's squared up relatively close. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a filter box. And playing around, throw some brad nails in because, why not? I've got the brad nailer. I like to live dangerously by not looking where I'm nailing and putting my hand under there. Don't do that. That's a terrible idea. I don't know why I would do something like that. There's some more brad nails in the front. And here we're going to come back with some screws, punch some screws down through. Oh, I ran out of brad nails. I needed one more nail. Good Lord. That one nail will probably hold the whole thing together. All right, now we're going to throw some screws in. I'm sorry. Throw 6 screws in the top as soon as I can figure out how a screw gun works. There we go. These are just some 2.5-inch decking screws. I didn't need to use that size of a screw, I'm sure. This whole thing weighs, I don't know, maybe 15 pounds. I'm pretty sure 8 pounds of that is the fan that I screw on here. In just a few minutes, when I get done playing around with this screw. Look at that. I did really good though. I didn't put a screw in a hand. I didn't blow it out the sides. I'm quite proud. All right, now we're going to do some test fitting. There's the arrow for the filter. Filters do have an airflow direction. Here I have it set backwards because I'm going to be blowing air. No, I'm sorry. This is right. Yes. If you're blowing air into the box, you want it to come out the filters. And if you're pulling air through the filters and blowing it out of the box, you want to flip the filters around so the little stripes are on the outside. I like the idea of blowing air into the box because then I can collect all my dust and I don't have to worry about it falling off the filters later on. And, well, as you can see, I don't clean my shop very often. So being able to just blow it off and smack the filters to clean them up seems like a great idea. There's my fan. Like I said, you can put it that way. It'll pull air through the filters and blow it out of the box. That way, it'll blow air into the box. I chose this way. I don't know if it'll work any better. We're going to find out. I think it will work okay. Just be able to stick the shop vac in and vacuum up the dust. In theory, I'm not sure. If anybody has any ideas on if this works or if you've tried it and it doesn't work, let me know in the comments. We'll see what happens. Okay, I think it'll work, right? I mean, it makes sense that it'll collect the dust. I guess we'll see. Let me know. There I am throwing clumps of dust on it. That was brilliant. Blow it off with the sawdust and you'll see, or with the blower, and you'll see that, oh wow, look at that, it works. All right, and here in just a second, we are going to do an audio test of this fan. I'll stop talking and you'll see the fan speeds. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Appreciate it.